greatest tragedies of the Surge is the loss of stories. The Enclave might not be that old, but with so many dead to the Surgeborn, their memories most certainly died with them.
I can understand that.
Oh?
My parents' generation tend to stay quiet around the fire. Whatever stories Khanhanders had were beaten out of us by public lashings and prison camps. And we haven't had time since independence to start telling new ones.
Did you ever have the urge to press a little harder? To try and learn just one or two stories, even if it was painful for the person telling them?
Honestly, in that case, I'm happy to let the past lie. If I didn't want to look forward, I wouldn't have left to join Aaron's Weaver Band. And I wouldn't have ended up here. So I'm here to live new stories, not to dwell on the past.
I understand the drive, but do you think perhaps you might have been running from the grief too? Not to make assumptions, but it can't have been easy growing up in a culture steeped in such loss.
There's joy in freedom. And even though that's what independence promised, I didn't feel like I had that at home.
I understand. The physical chains are gone, but the mental binds remain. Perhaps our presence can help the denizens of the Enclave avoid the same trap.
I hope so.
I took a break from work earlier to watch you on the scry. The way you take down those giant beasts, it's breathtaking. Poetry in motion, even. If you weren't already journaling your exploits, I'd be dedicating page upon page to them.
I don't get to see myself from the outside very often.
Alas, if only I were an accomplished artist.
Too bad. I want to see what I look like when I'm exploring places that haven't been seen for decades.
Even without pictorial aids, you look brave, confident, powerful, ready for anything.
You had those adjectives ready to roll. Been watching me a lot.
Yes, it's what naturally came to mind, promise. Words are more my specialty, as I said.
Isla, I was wondering if you might be able to help my friend.
Oh, what seems to be the problem?
I was wondering if you've heard of an affliction known as Era's Plague.
A damaging misnomer, but yes.
It certainly seems like the Enclave had a better understanding of it than the rest of the Maida does. I believe our quartermaster is suffering from it. She's a Kashar like you.
Ah, yes. The condition isn't unique to Kashar, but it's believed we experience it in greater severity due to our unique sleep cycles. I've heard of Ram, Obrun, Ashar, and Kassil alike who've experienced it. The first line of treatment is sleep. Unfortunately, that's difficult for Kashar. Thankfully, a sleeping balm should go a long way to help her. But it's not enough on its own.
Is there a more accurate name for this affliction?
Unfortunately, no. The research done on disorders of the mind is limited, even here. And I suppose academics are hesitant to rename conditions until they've become better understood.
Changing the name would just confuse matters, especially after the surge.
Then again, using a name that implies an individual has been cursed by a goddess of justice doesn't exactly foster empathy for its sufferers.
If this won't cure Casmin, what else will we need to do to help her?
It's what she needs to do for herself, sadly. There is no cure for Ira's plague, only treatment and management of the condition. Sleep will put her on the right track, but she needs to eat properly and actively fight the compulsions that stem from her visions.
She has a long road ahead of her.
She does. But she's not walking it alone. She's lucky to have friends like you.
Have you experienced Ira's plague yourself?
Not personally, no. But when I was born, my mother sought out the sleeping balm recipe in case I ever needed it, being Kashar. Great foresight on her part.
You've never spoken of your mother before?
She died before I was even a year old. And my father doesn't like to speak of her.
How do I get hold of a sleeping balm?
Well, I can make one for you here if you bring me the ingredients. You'll need emerald lucin, a gemstone famed for its ability to radiate peace, and chill feather weave for its cooling properties. In addition to this, you'll need oil membrane for the formula, and of course, red cotton, because it filters the light so that the eyes find deeper rest.
I'll bring you those right away. Here's everything you asked for.
Just a moment, and I'll prepare the balm. Here you go. And I've written down the recipe for Lane, in case you run out.
Thank you so much.
Have your quartermaster rub a little of the balm on her forehead, temples, and wrists before she goes to sleep. She'll be out in no time.
I hope she's willing to try this.
All you can do is be there. The rest is up to her.
You're right. I'd better get back to camp.
I hope your friend feels better soon.
Constantine, is now a good time to discuss the supply shortage?
Can't a man have a moment of peace between fires?
Not when the flames are licking at our feet.
We will discuss it later.
You sure you don't want to run away, screaming?
What? Why?
Nothing. Never mind.
Come on. Seriously. What are you talking about?
It's just... That's generally the reaction that sufferers of Ira's plague get across the Maida Basin. After all, Ira only stalks the wicked for penance.
Even if Ira actually was out for you, I still wouldn't run. Anyone who cares about you knows you're not a threat.
I wish I felt as sure of that as you do.
In time, I'll be able to say, I told you so.
Maybe.
We all wanted to come together to support you, Casmin. However we can. Do you think you're ready to talk about what's going on?
I guess I have been feeling not so great lately. It's hard. I don't know how to tell you what's going on in my mind. Or if I even should.
We're not here to judge. We're here to listen.
You can tell us anything.
It started a while after we came through the Veil. Not right away. You all know me. I'm a rock in a crisis. But the aftermath... It's hard for me to come down. Actually, I crashed to pieces in it. I should be stronger, but...
You are strong, Kaz. Falling apart sometimes doesn't change that.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like it these days. After the Surgeborn escaped, I just started getting these... thoughts. Visions. So vivid. They feel like premonitions. Our campsite, being razed to the ground in the night. Scrambling to find our gear under attack. Each of us being killed, one by one. And this voice, howling in my ear that it will all be my fault. Unless I do everything in my power to prepare us for it. I know that sounds crazy. But these visions and that voice, it's been getting louder. It keeps me awake all hours of the night. By dawn, everyone else is asleep, even Dam. I'm alone and exhausted. Counting supplies over and over and over, unable to stop.
That must be lonely.
It is. Opening up to you about this is physically painful. Even while we're talking, that voice keeps going. In the spaces between my words, in every pause, it howls at me for being pathetic and incompetent. How come I'm the only one drowning inside this place? No matter what happens, all of you are able to keep doing your jobs. I mean, I'm the only freak going off the deep end. How stupid is that?
You're going through something awful, outside of your control. And until now, you've dealt with it alone. But your decision to be vulnerable and share your experiences with us, that's brave, not stupid.
I don't feel brave. I feel exhausted and sad. But I guess it's nice to hear.
What if we cleaned out the caravan for you while you go rest? Bryn will sit with you until you fall asleep.
I don't know. I don't think I can sleep right now.
I have something that will help. A sleeping balm from the spindle.
Would you be open to trying it?
Maybe, but I'm afraid of what will happen if I go to sleep.
I won't let anything happen. I promise. Do you trust me?
I do. But I've made such a mess of the caravan. I can't let you guys be the ones to clean it up.
We've got this, Kasmin. It's okay.
All right. Thank you. This isn't working. I should go help with the caravan.
Shh. Kaz, they're fine. You need to sleep.
But what if Aurea throws away the grains Dan likes for breakfast? Or the sapling uses to rebind their books? Or...
She won't.
I can't just lie here. My skin is crawling. I feel like I might burst if I don't move.
How about we breathe together? Just try it with me.
Fine.
Hey, how you feeling?
I'm okay. I don't feel amazing. In fact, I feel pretty fragile, to be honest. But sleeping helped. Actually, everything you did helped. I don't want to pretend I'm feeling on top of the world right now, or like all my problems are solved. They're not. I know I've got a long road ahead of me, but finally saying out loud all the madness in my mind, and not being shunned or rejected for it. It's like all these awful visions lost some of their power over me.
Sounds like you should keep sharing with us then, so we can have every opportunity to accept you as you are.
Yeah. Why did you do all that for me?
You mean a lot to me, Casmin.
I do?
Yes, of course.
You mean a lot to me too.
I would do everything I just did and more for you 1,000 times over.
I'm not sure I'm deserving of all that.
You are, Casmin.
Would you mind reminding me of that sometimes?
Every day, if you'd like.
A Brennig Glasstail. A stormy night back home. Their roars echo in the howling winds.
cross-strand. Happy to weave that into your mantle.
defenders. Maybe Arya's father is among them. My old point, Aaron, used to boast he could sell an Oberon their molted feathers. Ugh.
stretch the scry any further.
Census records. The pivotal piece of the puzzle, as Lane said. Others might call them dull.
Sev is repairing a loom gate again, is he? I know this design.
Wait, really?
Doesn't it look familiar? Just like that seal we used to repair the loom gate in Glintwood Hollow.
I guess so. Though that one didn't need me to take out a Glasstail. I was a little green for that when we first arrived.
We all knew you had what it takes. Sev certainly believed in you, and still does. Just like I'm choosing to believe in him.
Hello, hello. We're fixing loom gates, are we?
What? Wait. Who told you?
You just did. But it was an educated guess from what you designed. Is this what the Eye has you working on?
You know I can't say. And honestly, I don't really know more than beyond the fact that there's a broken gate. I could do better work if I knew more, of course, but sometimes we have to fix things in the dark. Just the way of it.
My dad would tell you that's a great way to lose a hand.
You're just not seeing the whole picture. I'm sorry. I don't see it all either, but I've decided to trust that the head of the Enclave does.
I get it, big guy. Still, if he tells you more, just let us know if it's anything dangerous, okay?
I promise. You trusted me to tackle this task without enough details. I can do the same for the Eye. For now, at any rate. If things get dangerous, you'll be the first to know. Thanks again.
So, what were you speaking to the Eye about?
Nothing. I don't want to talk about it.
I didn't mean to pry. I just wanted to make sure you're okay.
You want to know if I'm okay?
Yes?
Then how come no one is at all concerned with the fact we can't leave? This isn't my life. Traveling with a Weaver Band was supposed to be temporary. For me, at least. There are things I should get back to in Taza. And it's increasingly clear no one has any idea when I will. If ever. So no, I'm not okay.
I'm so sorry. I had no idea you were feeling this way. You're right.
I am?
The truth is, we don't know how or when we're getting out of here. But if you want to leave, we should have made that more of a priority. Or at least made you feel more heard. So we'll work on it. Promise.
Really? What's the catch?
No catch. Apprentice or full-time weaver, what's important to you is important to all of us.
I don't know what to say. But thanks.
You know, I've been curious about something.
Oh, I know this one. A soft cloth and some ergon seed oil.
I'm sorry, what?
You... weren't asking about tusk care? Everyone eventually asks.
Spirits, no. But that's intriguing. I was wondering about that symbol you wear. With the wheel?
Oh, that's just a family heirloom. Of sorts. Thought it looked nice, is all.
Just thought it looked nice.
I'm so sorry, Bryn. Just remembered, I have to move some things for Aurea. Maybe another time.
So, what do you make of the Eye hiding the extent of the Surgeborn threat from his colleagues?
From what I can tell, the Eye wants the same thing as everyone else. Peace in the Enclave. He just has a different way of achieving it.
Right. But lying to his own daughter is hardly justified.
He didn't lie. He merely withheld information.
There isn't really a difference.
Sure there is. Lying is deceitful and often involves betrayal. But, at times, secrets are needed for protection.
Who are his secrets protecting? Him or her?
Well, her, of course.
Sev, I'd be careful of people who withhold information. You don't know what they're keeping from you. Making yourself at home?
Yes. I've always wanted my own ruined fountain. I don't want to presume, but being here is a nice break from all the politics.
And the eye is okay with that?
I convinced him I would be keeping an eye on you. Frankly, I think he's just glad to be rid of me. I ask the kind of questions that make him uncomfortable. You know, tough ones like, how? And why exactly?
Lucky for you, Aurea loves when people ask those questions. Welcome to the camp, Eric. We're glad to have you, and your insight on the Hearthsiders.
You still call us that?
Yeah, but it's more bitter these days. Surge and all. Maybe together we can fix that.
Let's. Thanks again for offering to talk to Aurea for me. Promise I'll be on best behavior. It's genuinely exciting to learn from someone new for once. Our community's pretty insular.
Eric, you don't think you could have mentioned that the spindle is the Eye's daughter?
That's her business to share.
Yes, but it would have been nice to know I was helping his daughter rebel against him.
Instead of helping his unrelated colleague undermine him.
Wow. Mean. But fair.
Your intervention definitely had an impact, though. A number of enchanters immediately started pushing for more. More expeditions, more studies of the Surgeborn, you name it. That's the kind of pressure the Eye was hoping to avoid. But I think him blowing up was a misstep. If I had to guess, that Axel started the rumors.
Do you think that's what Isla wanted?
No. She just wants to keep her head down and not have people focus on the I-father thing. And frankly, I get it. If Khan Stanild were my dad, I'd take it to the grave.
Okay, but if I'm walking into any more deadfalls, a heads up would be nice.
I promise. Unless it's someone's private business.
When we first met at the harness, you were very brusque. All of you, and so on. How come?
Snap decision. I was there to warn you and suddenly my earpiece activated. Someone was watching me on the scry.
You think it was the Eye?
I do. He'd made some comments about previous off-the-books expeditions I'd done. Such as the one where I slipped your band a warning about the flood. So, I kept up the front as best I could.
Do you need to sneak around him a lot?
To get things done, I often have to cut through all the rules and limitations. For example, your help is making things happen. The Eye's planning something, but no one's telling me what. I'm not sure the Spindle or the Axle even know. I'd guess we're all going to be handed orders and expected to deliver on a moment's notice. The Eye always claims he's protecting the people by sharing on a need-to-know basis. What do you make of it?
Everyone works better when we're aware of the challenges ahead. I couldn't do what I do if Dharm refused to tell me how my mantle works, for instance.
No limits then? Just share everything we know.
Sharing everything means there's no consideration given. It's just a stream of too much information. I think you can be considered in what you say. Still, erring on the side of giving people more information and trust lets them be their best.
Wins. Why aren't you the Eye? You do a better job with that attitude. You've given me a lot to think about. I should get back to looking over these reports, though.
Something on your mind, Kaz? You look lost in thought.
Oh, yeah. I guess it's just strange to think that Arakim, the Axle, and the Spindle were all born inside the Veil. For years after the Surge, it probably felt like the world was ending in here, and yet people were still bringing children into it.
Don't you think the same could be said of outside the Enclave after the Surge?
Maybe. But there's something about being trapped inside this crisis bubble and still choosing to bring someone else into it with you. Doesn't it seem almost selfish? You know what? No, I wasn't there. I shouldn't judge the Hearthsiders.
Maybe it's comforting. Yeah. No matter what, birth comes with the spring. I think if someone really wants to have kids, they just make it work, regardless of the circumstances.
I suppose. I just wonder if that's really what's best for a child.
I guess I've always been of the mindset that there's no perfect time to have kids. At some point, you just need to dive into it, if it's what you want.
Maybe. I'm not really one for diving.
Have you noticed the struggle in our new friend?
Eric, you mean?
Yes. Every part of him yearns to be serious, mature, maybe a little dangerous. But show him something new, like a properly maintained scry, and it all falls away.
Revealing...
An excited, intelligent young man who craves novelty.
Think that's why he hangs around the camp so often?
No, I know that's why. He knows he can't go back to it, but misses what you do. I wrestle with it too. I like being your watcher, but if someone handed me a potion to move back in time or be young again, well, let's say I'd give it some serious consideration. Either way, he's got a deft hand with the scry. I'll give him some pointers, but he's a natural. Bryn, you okay?
Yeah. Why?
No, really. Are you doing all right? You can tell me, you know. Being point isn't always easy.
Aurea, I'm fine. What's going on? Are you okay?
I had no idea that the point training was so hard on Kasmin. Sure, she seems stressed, but leaders should know what's going on with their team. I failed her.
There was no way you could have known what she was going through. She chose to keep it from all of us. But thankfully, we were able to show her it's okay to open up. And that matters more than anything that happened in the past.
I know you're right. It was just hard to see her suffer. And to know she was dealing with it alone for so long.
She's not alone anymore, though.
All the same, moving forward, I just want you to know you can talk to me. About anything. I'm here for you.
I know. Thank you.